American by birth, Southerner by blood, New Englander by choice. Hello, friends. Welcome back to Pilgrim's Digress. This is the 5th episode. I'm so excited to be back with you guys, and I'm excited to show you my conversation with an old friend, Nate Roberts. He's in a metal band called Auric Design, and we'll spell that later for you. But hey, I just wanted to give you a reminder to head over to iTunes, give me a 5-star review. Head over to Instagram, at Pilgrim's Digress NE. Double tap. Give me that like button. Share. Head over to Twitter at Pilgrim's Digress. Hit the heart. Share with friends. Facebook / Pilgrim's Digress. Like everything I post, please. Thank you. I'm aiming to get an episode out every week. If it's even just an interview or something I'm doing or something I'm thinking or saying. So stay tuned to all the updates and notifications. And enjoy this interview I have with Nate of Auric Design. All right, what's up, Nate? Thanks for coming by.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for having me.
Well, coming by on the internet, that is.
Yeah.
Nate and I go way back, 2007-ish. And I've got a story for you, Nate. I haven't even mentioned that to you off mic yet, but I'll tell it once we get through some of the stuff when we talk about New England. So, Nate, we just want to start off. What is your relationship with New England?
Yeah, so I was born here. This is where I've always kind of known as home. So I never really moved out. I spent a little time down south, like just a little bit. But otherwise, it was mostly I've just been up here. And yeah, born here.
So you're born and bred?
That's right.
As they say.
Yeah, man.
When I talk to people from New England, when I moved up here, I always thought, what is it about it, especially like in your childhood? Like my childhood was not New England. Like I grew up in like Illinois and Maryland. And
much different out there.
Right. So is there anything you can point to that you think that you experienced as a New England kid that maybe other people didn't?
So yeah, so it's tough, right? Because I spent all my time as a kid in New England. So I don't know what everyone else was doing. You know what I mean? But I know definitely like seasonally, we have all 4 seasons here in very extreme variations. So I don't know, would probably imagine things around fall just because I don't know, when I was a kid, like jumping all the leaves and everything, there's like everywhere.
All the time, yep.
Yeah, all the time. So like, and they turn like crazy colors.
Every
out
single
here.
color.
Yeah, it's so wild. I love like every year I just like drive down the road and I'm like, oh man, this is intense. But yeah, man, honestly, I don't really know what other people do. So I don't know if
How
I
many
did anything
snow days?
special.
Let me ask you this. So in Maryland one year, they said it was going to snow a few inches, and then it just rained, and we still didn't have school. How many snow days off of school do you think you had a year?
Oh man, like as a kid, well, because when you're younger in the younger grades, they're a little more careful. When you start getting older, they make you go to school. I think like a little bit more, or maybe they don't. I don't know. I can't really remember. It feels that way, but yeah, I think when I was younger, probably just like there's always a ton, man. There's always like a good handful. It snows a good amount up here, so
yeah. Did you know that everywhere else, mostly in the country, do not have a February break? Like when you say that to anybody else, they're like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
That's when awesome. I came here, I was like, "The kids don't have school randomly in February? What's going on?"
Yeah, I don't understand it either, but it's cool. It was awesome back. Although it's a double-edged sword because what happens is in the summertime, you're sweltering in the classroom and they don't have AC, and then now you're. So I think
so when I was in high school, we would get out June 8th, June 10th. And but we'd have to go back early August, and we didn't have that February break. But now as a teacher, I think I'm getting off June 17th. I've gotten off in the 20s, like in the late 20s, a couple of times because of snow days. I've seen April break get cut down because of snow days as a teacher. But that February break is. What's funny is that they do it because of the snow, and then they have February break, and guess what? It doesn't snow. It snows all around February break, and then it's no snow during February break. So that's a particularly weird thing up here.
Yeah, I guess that would have been. I guess man, that makes sense. That would be one thing, I suppose, right? Because even our roads are built different up here, where it's more designed for that kind of thing, and then we have the people on call to just go ahead and get it right when it starts snowing. You always see the plows just ripping around.
Yep.
So that's true.
Yeah. Nate, what were your 20s like?
Dude, my 20s were weird. It's like, how much do I want to cover, I guess? Like, well, during the 20s was the time I went down and spent some time in Virginia. I was in this like rock band down there for a while, which was cool. It was a cool experience, definitely. And then I got real involved in like the church, I think, because that's when I think we met, was probably when I was in my 20s. Yeah, I think actually when I was 20.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I'm doing the math. Yeah.
So it's actually been quite a while.
Yeah. So that's how we met. And here's the story. Nate, I don't know if you remember this, you and Sean. It was my wedding day, and I needed some ushers.
Some ushers, yeah, dude.
Of all the things. Somebody was like, we need ushers. And I didn't really think that much about it. I was like, Nate and Sean are here. So I went and asked, and it was like, no problem. Drop of a hat. I'll do that.
We'll do it.
Thank you if I didn't do that on July 31st, 2009.
Oh, heck yeah, man. That was fun.
Oh, man. You didn't see me cry like a little baby, did you?
Yeah, might
Good.
have.
No. That won me a lot of points for sure. There's a picture of it somewhere that I hide from everybody.
That was a nice wedding.
It was nice, yeah. Remember the reception went for so long. It was a good time.
Oh yeah, that was the place. Wasn't that place up? What do they call? I don't remember the name.
Country Inn.
That's it.
Yep,
that's the one. Yeah, it
was a good time. All right, let's get into metal. I've recently got into metal, and like I texted you the other day, a picture of my 6-year-old listening to some metal. He loves it, and so I don't know how. Oh, this is how he got into it. So we're in the car, and he's like 3, and I said, "But what do you want to listen to?" He says, "I want to listen to Cookie Monster." And I was like, okay. So I put in iTunes Cookie Monster, and this metal band, like they were kind of metal punky.
Yeah.
Cookie Monster comes up, and he just rocking out, man. He loved every second of it. So I just got into it and started kind of browsing. And if you can confirm this for me, metal seems to be kind of like how jazz and hip hop have developed, in that there's so many subgenres now.
Oh, totally.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like maybe even the worst possible situation of that. Yeah, that symptom is like it exists heavily in metal.
So then you got to say, well, they probably like hate each other or like okay with the other subgenres.
Yeah, it's weird because, I mean, yeah, there's definitely there's a lot of crossover where your death metal fans are gonna like the new metal stuff sometimes, but not always. I'd say those two genres don't always agree with each other, but it happens. And then there's, I mean, it's hard to, I don't know, there's like the progressive metal stuff, the more metalcore stuff. So yeah, a lot of, I don't know, I have friends who love all of it. They're like, hey, as long as it's heavy, I'm in. And then I listen to like a lot of new music, and I'm like, it's not it, man. I don't know, something about it's just not quite right. So I can go for anything really, but as long as it's executed really well, a good song's a good song, and that goes just for like any genre. I feel like for me personally, but yeah,
sure. How did you actually get into metal at all? Because that's how I did when I was in my 30s. I feel like I missed so much.
So you didn't listen to it before then? Any kind of
on purpose?
Nice. That's funny. So yeah, dude. So I've always been into heavy music, and I think it's because my dad was like pretty into like the '80s rock and metal thing, and so I guess over time I listened to a lot of the stuff growing up, and kind of just developed a taste for it. I'd always kind of just try to find like the heaviest thing out at the moment. So I started getting into things like, I don't know, like Corn. You know, they've been around now for like 30
yeah.
years plus or something. Like when I was in fourth grade, that's like what I was listening to.
Nice.
Because that was the heaviest thing I could find. And so as soon as something else came out, then it was like Slipknot came out, and I was like, oh, that's like even angrier and like more heavy. I want that now. Yeah. And then also, actually, which is interesting, my dad was part of a around this, actually happened in Worcester. It was a concert. They used to have like 20,000 people. It's called Loco Bazooka. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but like back in the day, System of a Down,
Really?
Slipknot, yeah, Disturbed played it when it was a little more developed. But like a lot of the bands that got really big when they were early in their career played that festival, and a lot of people would just show up for it. So it was like a huge festival, and so I used to go and get all access passes because he was involved with that. He did like their logos, and I was over the promoter's house, pretty frequently, on the weekends and stuff like that. So I got a good chance to meet like a lot of the rock acts. Then they were more rock than metal, but there was a little bit of both going on there.
Sure.
And yeah, it was really cool. Like I got to actually sing on stage with I don't know if you remember a band called POD. Do you remember them?
Yes.
Yeah. Dude, when they after they released their like first music video on MTV, they played Loco Bazooka, and I don't know, man, like I was young and I had an all access pass, so I just run around and talk to everybody I could, I just kind of really care. So I like walked up to these guys who just trying to have some chicken wings, at this catering tent, and I was like, hey, what's up? And they were like, oh, hey. And their manager was kind of like, didn't seem super jazzed that I was bothering these dudes, but I was like, whatever, I got this pass, so he gets anything, which he totally could have. But the band was like, hey man, yeah, good to meet you. And they just were like, you want to come sing on stage later? I was like, yeah, dude, that'd be sick. I'll do that.
Remember what song it was?
Dude, what was the name of that single?
So Alive. For the very first time.
Yeah, it was even before that though.
Oh yeah. Remember they had an album that was supposed to come out on 9/11/01.
Oh really?
Do you remember that?
No.
They had I remember seeing a poster. It's got them like walking in like a V shape, and it says 9/11/01 POD. So this was before that.
Wow. Yeah, I think the song name of the song was "Rock the Party."
Oh yeah,
that sound right? Party. I don't remember how it goes at all. Even now,
I don't even know, but I know that was a POD song. Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, it was cool.
That's awesome.
It was a crazy experience. Yeah, their singer, right? Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sonny, I think his name was. I think.
That's right.
And I hope I don't mess that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were super cool, man. And
that's good.
That was a wild experience, dude. Because like that was so huge for me. Just wanting to be able to be a performer. Wanted to go on stage and be like, dude, this is what I want to do with like my life.
Were you shy or anything like that before?
No, but I just I don't think I had any kind of crazy experience like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? That was just nuts. Even like now, I'm like, dude, 20,000 people. I just go up there and be like, hey, you got to sing this song. It's like, oh my god. But we just came out for like part of it, and like I grabbed he invited me and a couple of my friends and stuff too. So it was it ended up on TV, I think too, which was pretty cool. But yeah, it was a wacky experience.
Now, were you playing music or playing guitar at that time?
I don't know. Was I? Man, I was pretty young. So I don't remember the year exactly, but I couldn't have been much older than like 12 or 11 or something.
Yeah.
At that point. So probably not. I think I had a guitar because my dad was like, hey, I want to be really supportive of music because you seem interested. So I play some of his drums and I mess around with his instruments. I think he got me a guitar at 13. And then I was terrible, dude. I just like would strum all the strings as hard as I could. I was like, this is how you do guitar. And my dad was like, oh, try to play something good. And I'm like, this is good. This is fun. But yeah, no, I know what I was doing. And then I played a little drums. And that didn't really go anywhere either because I'm right-handed, but I couldn't help but play as a left-handed. So I don't know. It didn't make sense to me. And then at some point I was bothering my dad about a bass. And I was like, hey man, I want to learn how to play bass. And he's like, I don't know, man. I got your guitar. I got you play the drums. So I don't know why would I get you a bass? It doesn't make any sense. And I was like, I don't know, something about the bass, And I think it actually had a lot to do with still going to those concerts. That was like a reoccurring thing every year. I'd go to them. So I'd meet new musicians, and I met this one guy, and he was a bass player. So I was kind of like, oh, I wonder like I don't even know what bass was. So then I finally started looking into it, trying to listen for it in music, and then he ended up buying me a bass, and I just started jamming with that thing, and actually got like half decent. So that was kind of the thing that led to me playing guitar and actually being just better at the music in general. For whatever reason, I had to like go back to something like simpler, and then it kind of bridged the gaps for everything. I mean, you can do crazy stuff on bass, but I was playing Beatles songs.
Wow. Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, single note, whole note stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, how long have you've been playing guitar? About 14, 15 years then?
Yeah, I'd probably say since I was like 15, 16. So probably say something like that. Probably like 15-ish years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you went back to bass, you said you went back to something simpler? Did you? Because I've seen you play. I think I might have played with you a couple of times, but how well? Like, what's going on in your brain? I've always wondered that. Are you playing the caged system, or do you know your theory that when you're playing it, or are you just ripping it?
So it's kind of one of those. There's those guys who are just like theory guys, and they know everything there is to know. And I've met a lot of them, dude, and they're not the greatest players. Some of them are, man. They're amazing and they're way better than me. But then there's the guys who just they're too book smart, and they don't really put it into practice. And then there's guys who know none of it, and they're still like just as good somehow. So I'd probably put myself somewhere in the middle. So if I'm following a chord chart, or I'm playing something I haven't played a lot and I need kind of like something to help me along, I'll use that. But then if it's something that I wrote, I'm not necessarily thinking about all those things, because then I'm just kind of memorizing the patterns and the things that maybe when I'm writing it, I'm thinking of it. But once I'm playing it and performing it, I'm trying to think more about the execution of actually playing the things clean and trying to get feeling into the riffs and that kind of stuff, and like recording especially. I did a little bit of recording time in Tennessee, and they were like, they kept telling me I was playing too white. I was like, what does that mean? What does that mean, man? Like, and there's like, you're not playing with any feeling. I was like, oh, okay. And then it just kind of helped me to be more conscious of that. So I think those are usually the things I think about.
Okay.
By giving enough tack on the pick and stuff. Yeah.
I get it. So through your development in playing guitar in bands, how would you describe your, I have a word, musicianship? Like at the very base of it, like what kind of musician would you call yourself?
I didn't know there were categories. I don't know.
Well, I'm asking you to make it up.
Yeah. Dude, I don't know. I definitely like the composition side of things. So I guess at the base of everything, it's really just the creative side. Mm-hmm. Like as I get really into the audio nerd engineering side of things too, but mostly it's just trying to get the ideas that are in my head like out and just onto something, because they're always kind of going all the time. That's the thing. Like I've always got new ideas for different songs and whatever, and they kind of just pop in my head. And then I whatever I can do to get them recorded. That's why I do a lot with like Pro Tools and stuff, because I can just get it in there and then forget about it, and I can go back later and be like, oh, that was a cool idea.
Like an audio notebook.
Yep. Sometimes I use my phone. I'll be driving and I'll just have an idea popping in my head, and I'll like record it, and it sounds stupid, but when I pull it up in the studio, I knew what I was going for, and I can like recreate it. Actually, there's been riffs on songs that we've recorded that was the way that we, that we wrote it. It's just, I was like, hey, I got this weird idea.
Yeah. Very innovative. I like that.
Yeah.
What is the most difficult part of creating or playing music for you?
The most difficult part? Well, I'd definitely say trying to settle on an idea. Yeah, for me personally, because at this presently in life, I don't know, like when I kind of get going, I come up with, an idea, and then I'll come up with another one, and then I'll have like 3 or 4 of them. I have to go to my singer and be like, dude, I'm stuck. I don't know. Like, I can't write this song because I have too many ideas, and like, maybe they're all good, or maybe only one of them is good, but like, I can't tell at this point because I like them all because I'm biased. So it's like trying to come up with the best thing that fits the song. And then, dude, I've thrown out half songs, whole songs. Just like I've thrown out the best riff in a song. Just is like, I don't want to do that. This is the best part, but you have to, because otherwise the song doesn't make sense, and it's bad. The vocals don't fit over it well. And I think even just to go further on that point, I think I think compromise.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you're writing,
And
oh,
compromise.
dude,
Yep.
it sucks sometimes, man, so bad.
Sure.
Because you like love this idea,
Mm-hmm.
but you have to let it go, because
Mm-hmm.
it's just not the best thing.
Yeah.
But
who do you collaborate with? How does that work for you?
So, because nowadays I'm mostly writing like metal. If I'm doing something with my friends on the side, it's like a lot more loose and casual, which these days is almost, I like it a lot. Maybe sometimes more, because I can just I don't have to really stress about it. It's gonna come out how it's gonna come out, and we can just do it and have fun, and that's all we're trying to do. But I think when we're doing the metal stuff, I'm just collaborating with the other bandmates. My guitar player Joe, my singer Jared, and just bouncing things off of them. Then they'll come to the table with ideas too. So we all sort of just say, all right, well, what do we got, and what makes sense together, and what's even at the right, at the same tempo, because you can have a bunch of great ideas, but they're at the same tempo. That makes a really weird song. So, yeah, so that's kind of the process. I mean, it's never really the same when we go to like write a song. It could be a guitar riff, and sometimes like I'll have an idea for like the drums and the guitar at the same time, or like the whole picture. I'll just be like, oh, this whole part. That's a little more rare, but it happens. But then there are also times when it'll be like a drum beat only. I'm like, I have this great idea for a drum part, and then I'll figure out something that works on guitar over it. That's a lot of our writing, actually, man. It's just drums, just like a whole song of drums, or like
It's so interesting to me.
Yeah,
because everybody's got their like thing that they do, and that's what I'm trying to do with this show, is figure out what people have passions, and when people start talking about their passion, I love it.
Oh, totally.
Like learning about it, and yours is especially interesting to me because it's just, especially when it's like something I definitely know I cannot do.
No, but you're a musician,
I know. I know how to, but
play. You even write your own stuff too.
I have, and but when you talked about the theory thing, and too much in the head, that's what I was. I mean, when I started out playing, I did the chord chart thing, playing some oldies and stuff. But I literally was up all night one night when I finally realized I had to teach myself that chords there's a scale, and then the C scale, the major chord is 1, 3, and 5. Like I had to like figure this out on my own. I did not read a book or anything, and I sat with my guitar literally 4 or 5 hours and just writing down. I was like a mad scientist or something, and I was like, minor chord, I get it. And then,
I must consult the tome for the greater knowledge. Yeah,
and so that's when everything starts. For me, start falling. And so the passion for me wasn't necessarily the music; it was the discovery, and the gaining of knowledge. So
but you can happen upon some cool stuff that way,
right? And
even
so, yeah, and so when you know what fits where, whatever, that's cool. Yeah,
I learn as much as I feel like I need to in the moment. And if I'm ever going for a sound where I'm like, that's a scale I don't know, or that's a certain thing that I don't know about, then I'll try to dive in if I care enough to do it. But as soon as I don't have like really a way to, I don't know, just kind of put that idea down and turn it into something creative, then I just don't even bother.
It's huge. That's huge with all art. You got to be willing to throw it in the trash and keep moving on.
Yep.
If it's not right. So I think I've covered some of the questions already with our conversation.
Nice.
I'm going to pause for you right now. Nate, if you could play a song for my audience right here, but just play a clip that best maybe shows them what you got, and we can link this song and the rest of your work to the show notes and to my website. Which one would you want me to put in right here?
So I would say you could probably put in a song called The Kronos Effect. If you want to get an idea for more like what the sound of the whole band. And
the band's name is, which we haven't even said yet.
Oh yeah, the Auric Design, and that's spelled AURIC.
Cool.
So, the Auric Design. You can find it on everywhere, pretty much everywhere they have music.
Yep. iTunes, Google,
Amazon.
That's a lot of work to get up there. Believe me, I know with this podcast stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of a pain in the neck, but like it definitely pays off because streaming is the thing now.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
You know, CDs are going away. Like people at our shows have been asking for CDs, but I don't know. It's gonna like CD players are going away in cars and stuff, and it's kind of becoming a thing of the past. And to print a bunch of CDs that you might not sell, you have all this money tied up in this. I don't know. It doesn't seem to make a lot of sense when a lot of your success is based on what people look at on social media and what people look at on your Spotify. Yeah, they'll go and this band, this podcast, this you know, this comedian, this whatever, like let's see how many people are listening to this, you know, and they look at it and they say, okay, well this guy's got
Right.
158,000 plays or 15 million plays or a billion plays or something. It's just it's all about your persona. More people just they're sheep, so they'll just do whatever everyone else is doing. You know what I mean? So they see a band with less than 1,000 plays, they're like, local band, probably no good. They could be awesome, but how do you? But if you see another band with hundreds of thousands, millions of plays, it's like, okay, these guys are probably they'll just accept you for they're good, they're real, they're big time, they're a real band. Yeah. So I feel like our focus is more to get those numbers on those platforms more than sell CDs.
All right, Nate, we're not done yet, but I want you to say your band's name and the song again so I can splice it in there. Go.
Yeah. Okay, so we are the Auric Design, and this song is called The Chronos Effect.
All right, Nate, let's do the lightning round here. Talking about New England. You can do yes or no. Feel free to tell a story, whatever you feel comfortable with.
Yeah, totally.
Thanks for talking with me. I want to talk off mic at another time about scales, arpeggio. How do you say them? Arpeggios.
Arpeggios. Yeah.
And just general guitar stuff. And I'll have to see over at Brian's house for sure.
Oh, dude, yeah. That'd be awesome. Anytime. I love that stuff.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Nate, as a New Englander, have you ever tapped a tree for maple syrup?
No, but I did have maple syrup in Pennsylvania that was real from a tapped tree. It was a wedding favor for my buddy's wedding. They had them all over. And it was the best maple syrup I've ever had. Seriously, it's never been anything better.
Have you ever been ice fishing?
No.
I was so weirded out when I first moved here when I saw ice fishing. I was like, that's real? But
yeah,
you've seen it, right?
Oh yeah, dude. A lot of my friends do it. Honestly, it's just an excuse to get drunk. Like that's, they set up a pole and just drink vodka or whatever on the ice. Yeah.
Sounds like a good time. You ever been to Red Sox, Celtics, Patriots game, anything like that?
Nope.
It's tough, isn't it?
Never, man. Yeah.
It's nice to win, but it's not nice to pay for the tickets.
Yeah, they're brutal, first of all. And secondly, and what I noticed down south is it's all college. Like it's college ball, dude. Like that's it. They love it. And it's cool. Like, and being down there, you kind of get it. You're like, oh, all right. Like everyone's into this down here, right? People are just doing what the other people are doing. So for whatever, that's just their part of their culture. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Our colleges up here aren't. I mean, UMass basketball won the whole championship in the '90s once.
But they're not as sports-driven schools, I guess, maybe up here. Or
I mean, I went to UMass, and there was like I didn't know anything that was going on.
I know they have sports, but it's not. They don't make it a big. Yeah, they don't make it a big deal there. So I don't know.
In fact, the football team at UMass plays at Gillette Stadium. They barely play at home because they can't get anybody to show up.
Wow.
So
That's crazy.
That's how big the pro sports are here. People are just, college is nothing. Nate, have you ever seen a ghost?
Nope.
If you're listening, there's a good podcast about this creepy, scary things in New England. I'll put the link in the show notes. Nate, you ever said wicked pissa?
I say wicked all the time.
All the time.
It's definitely part of my vocabulary. But no, I actually know it was a while before I even heard that phrase up here. And as soon as I heard it, I was like, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard anybody say.
When he's 6 now, my 4-year-old said wicked, I was so proud.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know it was a New England thing even because just got been here. I didn't really go anywhere for a long time. You know, right. I just stayed in my shell. And I'm like, yeah. And I mean, I'm like part of like generations and generations that have just been in this area, dude. So we just say wicked and everyone says wicked. And I went down south and someone was like, what'd you just say? I was like,
you know, it's another one you might not know about. My parents moved up here.
Yeah, okay.
My brother lives with them over in Barrie, and
because they were in Maryland, right? Is that where they were?
Yeah, they retired and moved north. We went to a restaurant, and one of us told the waitress that we were all set, and my parents were like, "What are you talking about?" I bring this up a lot in the podcast. My parents were like, "We're all set. What's that mean?" And they kept watching us use it in different like situations. They were like, you just say that about, you can say no and yes with all set. You know,
that's true. I guess.
Do you want these drugs? No, I'm all set.
Do you need any more drugs? No, I'm all set, man. Good enough.
Okay, so we got wicked pissa. What's your coffee of choice?
Ooh,
you driving?
Flavor or brand?
Brand. Where do you stop?
Brand. I do a lot of Dunkins, but it's not my favorite. It's just huge up here, and they're everywhere.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like you drive like a mile and you go buy 6 of them. Like it's just crazy. So.
And you know which ones you like better than the other ones. You're like, oh, don't go to that one.
They're not all the same.
They're not all the same.
Yeah, it's so weird. But actually, you know what? Because I actually went to one in Virginia once, and I was like, this is totally different.
It's so weird.
And I
haven't brought this up yet on the show either. When I moved up here, I asked for a coffee, and they gave me a coffee with cream and sugar, and I was so confused.
That's not normal.
I wanted black coffee. I just wanted regular, and you have to say black coffee.
Yep. Yeah, that's funny. So actually, recently I was in Copenhagen, Denmark. It was we went on a trip. Yeah, I went over. It was the craziest thing. I went over there for a tattoo. That's like the only reason I went there. Yeah, it was like we flew out on a Wednesday, and we were back that Saturday. That we were there. It was crazy. It was like 2 full days of like travel, and I was there for 2 days. But in the actual train station, there was a Dunkin' Donuts. And I was like, I want to go over there and be like, I've been to the one in Quincy. I know the truth. Let's see how you compare. But,
give me a double.
Yeah, but they weren't open. So I was like,
oh man.
Yeah, that's great.
Let's see. You ever been hiking?
Oh, yeah. Plenty of times, yeah.
Where do you go?
Well, I'm near the Mount Wachusett here, so which isn't a crazy. It's not a crazy hike. It's a smaller mountain, but it's still a good time. That's a good one. And then I've been to I don't know, Watatic. Is that how you say it? Yeah, that's another one around here.
Have you done Monadnock?
I've done Monadnock. That was my favorite.
That's the most hiked mountain in the country, I believe.
In the whole country?
Yeah.
Because it's not like super intimidating. It's a big enough mountain to have fun and to kind of challenge you a little bit, but it's not going to kill you.
Wachusett's 5,000, I want to say. Is that way too much?
Wachusett's like a giant hill, and they put some rocks to make it a mountain. And I'm pretty sure that's the truth.
How long does it take to get up Monadnock? I haven't done it.
Well, I think it's like a few hours. Maybe like 3. Maybe I don't know. It's been a while. I did it one time, so I don't know. I could be making numbers up, but I'm pretty sure that's something like that. And if that's not how long it takes, it's probably how long it took me, because I'm not like a hike master Sherpa.
All right, last question. Would you ever move away, and if you did, where would you move to?
Man.
Nothing, no other conditions, nothing like, oh, my career, just like, you got to move from here. Where's the first place you're going to go in America and then the world?
Okay, so I get two options.
Sure.
Okay, one in America, one in the world. All right. So it's funny because when I met you, I was considering moving to Australia. Yeah, but I never went through with it because I was like, wait a minute, nah. I hate spiders, dude. They probably have like the biggest spiders. I don't even want to. So I think in the U.S., man, I'd have to say if I was gonna, because really I think about this a lot, and I don't know, it's weird, but there's really nowhere else I'd really want to be other than maybe like California. I just feel like it's probably the only logical option.
I think you'd fit in there.
Yeah, I could fit in there.
What about the world? Are you going back to Copenhagen?
Dude, all right, yeah. So I haven't done a lot of traveling. Actually, the first time I left the country, I just went there and came back. But we did stop in like Spain and London, and the weather in Spain seems super nice. I was locked in the airport, but man, it looks like paradise.
What airport was it? Madrid?
Barcelona.
Yep. Barcelona's more south, so that's the Mediterranean weather. That's where I was. It's nice.
I had the best donut and maybe coffee of my life there.
When I was in Spain, the temperature was over 100 degrees every day.
That's really wow. That's
and it was weird too because it's in Celsius, right? So I'm like walking by and it says 42 degrees, and I'm like, okay, but I'm wearing pants, long sleeve shirt, and it's just like the sweat just dries right off you. I never sweat, unlike here where it's just like oppressive.
Oh yeah, you can like drink the air. It's terrible. Yeah, I was talking to the guy in the shop there, and he's like, Fahrenheit makes no sense. He's like, what is freezing in Fahrenheit? I'm like, it's 32 degrees, you know? And he's like, that doesn't make any sense. He's like, in Celsius, it's 0. I was like, yeah, that makes a ton of sense, actually.
Yeah, I fully support the, what's it called? Metric system.
Yeah, I think it makes more sense. But yeah, I don't know. Copenhagen was cool. It's like a weird German version of America. It's not German, but it's definitely like not that different than America. Over there, they drive on the right side. Yeah. They all speak like pretty good English.
Yep. They got healthcare.
Yeah. They had the free. Well, dude, federal tax 47%.
Yep. That's about what it was in the 50s here too.
And sales tax is 25, I think, over there.
All right, now you hurt me.
Yeah, so they keep like a quarter of their income, so everyone drives bicycles. It's like bicycles everywhere, man. It's crazy.
That's cool.
Yeah, well, keeps you in shape. Everybody's fit, dude.
Yeah.
Everybody's fit over there.
All right, man. Thanks again for getting in touch. Looking to talk again on the other show, possibly.
Yeah, man. I'd love to.
I'll close it out with another song. Any choices there? I'll edit it. Take your time.
Oh yeah, another song, dear. I'd should go ahead and put up there's like a solo at the end of the song, Infinite Intelligence.
Okay.
That's that might be a cool clip. Flashy little part.
Excellent. The name of the band is Auric Design. Auric Design. Nate Roberts. Thanks for talking with me. Looking forward to having you again on the show. And have a good night, man.
Yeah, you too, man. Thanks a lot.
Nate, where can we find you on social media?
So you can find us on Instagram at the Auric Design, Facebook the Auric Design as well, and that's pretty much where we post all our stuff. Keep up to date with shows and videos and pictures and on all that.
And you're on all the listening platforms.
All the listening platforms. Yeah, I actually have I'm going to be putting out a guitar playthrough video, so that'll be coming out. Probably the next, I'm not sure exactly, maybe a couple weeks or so.
Cool.
We'll be pushing that out. So that'll actually be of the song Infinite Intelligence as well. We shot that a little while back.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you next week. I'll send you out with some more infinite intelligence.